you started to realize that you had the power to actually make change. Whereas versus in the beginning of the month, you were feeling quite powerless, and many of you were feeling like you had a hope in. Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoatsecrets. So, again, I am Kristen, and I am a healer. And for this video, we are reviewing Pluto, the Aqua Pluto transit, transitioning from Capricorn into Aquarius, and some of the things that you need to do, or I'm suggesting that you do in order to prepare for this transition, and how to better navigate this energy and make sure it's in your own personal power and your own control. First, we are going to start with some information about the transits and some of the astrology happening around it, and then we're going to get into some details about how you can apply it to your own personal life. All bookings with me can be found in the description below. And also remember, I am a global citizen, so I love to connect with all of you on a global and worldly level. So tell me where it is that you're listening from so I can get closer to you. Be sure to like and subscribe. Now, let's get into this. Okay, so Capricorn, this is your Prepare for Pluto video. And the thing about this video in specific is I really want to prepare you guys, I just said that, but I really want to have you guys feeling like you are ready for this shift and this transformation. You know what it is that you need to do, and you've set yourself up in the best way in order to see it through. Obviously, it's going to happen inevitably, and the energies are going to affect you regardless, but you can take control of your own alchemy and your own magicianship by standing in the driver's seat of your life. So I wanted to kind of go into a little bit of details to make it so that you felt prepared and you know some of the things that are going on. So the thing about Pluto is exiting Capricorn on January 20th. And when it exits Capricorn, beautifully, of course, is the exact same time that the Sun is exiting Capricorn. So the Sun will be exiting Capricorn same time that Pluto is exiting Capricorn, and 3 days later, Venus goes into Capricorn. So what is that, and why is it that I'm mentioning those dates, right? So I want you guys to look at this and write, if you want to, write this down. So we've got Pluto leaving, we've got the Sun leaving, we've got Venus entering Capricorn, and then we've got the Leo moon 2 days after Venus enters Capricorn. And what does that mean? So it looks like for the rest of January, all eyes are on you, and there's a lot of serendipity working in your favor. When that shift happens, when Pluto finally leaves Capricorn, you're going to feel a big weight lift. It's almost going to feel innately like the sun has come out, especially because the sun is leaving you the exact same day. So it's not to say that during Capricorn season you've been feeling super pressurized. You have been working through some residual karma from the past. So subconsciously your mind has been in a space where you have been remembering some of your traumas. The past has been on your mind, especially with Mercury and Sagittarius really keeping you in a bit of an elusive state psychologically. You know where it is that you want to go, you know where it is that you want to see your future pan out, but your mind has been kind of in the past, you know, and it's like, what is the future, what is the past? And the good thing is you've been feeling empowered in knowing, especially when Mars entered Capricorn, you started to realize that you had the power to actually make change. Whereas versus in the beginning of the month, you were feeling quite powerless, and many of you were feeling like you had a hope inside, but you couldn't see it through. You knew what it is that you wanted, but you had no idea how you were going to make that shift. And then when Mars entered Capricorn, everything changed. It's like you got in the driver's seat and all of a sudden opportunity started to show itself. And that Sagittarius and Mercury makes it so that what is making it so that the combination with Mars and Capricorn has you in a mindset of, okay, I can dream it and I can make it. If I believe it, I can see it. And you're holding those two things and you're balancing them with the jaws of life. You're balancing them without apology, and you're very focused on seeing through your ambitions, which is great. So, and again, that goes along with the sun being in your sign. You're going through a lot of self-transformation. So within these last couple of weeks alone, you've changed. And it's more like you've been solidifying who it is that you have become over the past year, over the past 15 years. But the last year was more of like a pressurized experience before truly exiting the rough and being the diamond. Now you're kind of shaking off all of the dirt and the mud and the soot that's been wrapped around you, but you truly are this diamond now. And throughout the month of January, you've been understanding that. You've been slowly dusting yourself off, as I said, and you now want to show that. You're ready to shine with that, but not necessarily for other people. If your ego is in the right place, you're more focused on yourself and showing that for yourself and being that for yourself, and also serious connections. So again, if your ego is in the right place, you guys are more focused on how to build the kind of partnerships and the kind of relationships that are very real. You've learned over the past 15 years a lot of lessons, and one of the biggest lessons was who is worth your time and who isn't. What is valuable versus what isn't. Your ego has died so many times. And the good thing is that made it so that now you're in a space where you know what relationships count. And you're no longer looking at things from the space of like status or what looks good or what can show up a certain way or what looks good on paper or who seems like they're a good person to be tied to. You don't really care. And a part of the reason why you don't care is also, again, Mars has it so that you've been able to see through what it is that you desire out of your life yourself. So it's not necessarily saying that you need another person to fill a void. You have been voids, or the ability to have codependency has kind of been ripped from you in so many ways. Anything that you were investing in that wasn't meant for you has been ripped away from you, and it made it so that you had to then restart in a way that was the most authentic, which is wonderful. And obviously it was difficult, but it is wonderful in terms of the kind of strength that you're harboring and where it is that you want to be with yourself. So in terms of your focus for this year, a lot of you guys in your 8 year are prioritizing who it is that you have around you, business-wise, romance-wise, and life-wise, especially because last year you cut off and ended so many connections and so many relationships. You're opening yourself back up to understanding, okay, dark night, more than likely during that the Libra eclipse, and a lot of things were happening during the summertime with the Leo Venus transit. So you guys have had to go through a lot of dark nights in terms of your connections, and now you're kind of seeing through the other side where there's more optimism. You're ready to let people and things in, but you want to make sure they're the most authentic, which is good. And again, you being in the driver's seat of your own life, you don't really need anyone. You're able to kind of see through things individualistically, which is good. And then you want to kind of expand that energy or I guess outside of yourself. You're going to see this perspective that I'm discussing really show up when it comes to the Leo full moon. And a part of the reason why is because Leo is your 8th house. So just like when Leo was in Venus last summer, a lot of things about clearing out your closet. The 8th house is the space of the dark night. It is the skeletons. It is your shadow self. And also in terms of partnerships and relationships. So when the full moon comes around, again, these same traumas that you have been addressing in the beginning of the month are going to see themselves show up for that time period, but this time it's actually to let it go. It's actually kind of, although it's a full moon, for you it's going to be illuminated in a way where it's going to feel almost like a new moon, and that you'll be able to finally close the chapter on the past and put to rest these experiences as you've been doing slowly but surely, piece by piece. The full moon will be able to illuminate so much light. Again, Leo, think of sun. So much illumination will be in these dark corners that you can finally put them to rest, which is going to feel very good. And it will set you off in terms of the new year very strong, especially as we have the other transits taking place, because as I keep saying, when Pluto enters Aqua, huge weight lift, a rush of peace is going to come over you, and that peace is going to carry you all throughout the remainder of the year. Right after that, Venus goes into Capricorn and all eyes are on you. You're seeming very attractive. You're very appealing. You're going to start to notice a lot of people reaching out to you in terms of love or business, friendships, but mainly when it comes to love and specific at the end of this month. The Venus in Capricorn transit has people looking at you and seeing you. I mean, slowly but surely they've been doing that over the past couple of months, but now it's really like you're shining, like, again, like a diamond, right? Once Pluto exits, it's like it's like the big lights turned on and you're on stage. But the funny thing is you guys have changed and transitioned so much that if your ego is in the right place, you're not even attached to it, but other people are now seeing you. So if you are single or anything along those lines, I would say one of the things in terms of preparing for Pluto is preparing for partnerships. Partnerships for all of you, just different types of partnerships. The kind of unions that you're building this year are the kind of unions that can last you throughout this entire Pluto transit. You guys have been looking at really serious connections, really, because of the things that you've experienced, really idealizing, or maybe not idealizing, understanding the value of the truest types of unions that you can build with people. And those things are going to be coming into fruition this year. And it's going to feel very good. The connections are going to feel very light in that respect. But again, they have the power to last you throughout this entire transit, which is very powerful and very great. So I would say prepare for that. Another thing, again, when it comes to the Leo full moon, prepare for being able to close out the chapters of the past altogether. Again, we are in a new generation with the Pluto transit. We are in a new reality, and then that Leo full moon comes in to just sweep out anything else that's left, so you can finally go into the year feeling light as a feather, feeling ready for the new beginnings, new generation, new reality, new perspective. So do not resist any dark nights of the soul for the remainder of January. Allow them to come in, embrace the shadow, because it's really just here to turn the wheel to transition you into the new beginning. With that being said, I wanted to go into some more things about, I guess, some more things for you to do right now to prepare for Pluto and the Pluto transit. One of the biggest things I would say is to put yourself in a space where you're ready to let go of the past. So whatever rituals that you have that help you align with that, journaling is very good, whether it is writing things down, video journaling, meeting up with people and kind of getting everything out, therapy, whatever you need to do to make it so that you, or one of my favorites, which is going to the woods and screaming. It's one of my favorite rituals, hands down. Now, obviously, you have to make sure that you're in a certain kind of environment so that, no one, you don't reap any major repercussions for this, but finding yourself in the depths of nature and screaming as loudly as you can with full intensity to get out all of the things that you feel. For the remainder of these next few days, you really need to be focused on the priority of clarity. So letting out any residual weight, the shadows, the gunk, the fat, trim it, allow it to fall off of you, because now you're getting this fresh start, but you don't want to get a fresh start and ruin it yourself by remaining stuck. It's time to close the doors, and so you should be focused for the remainder. Because also, yes, the Pluto transit will happen, and it'll be this big shift, and by the end of January, you're going to be feeling very lighthearted, but there's still some residual weight, it's a big turn, and the transit happens, but there's still some of the degrees, a little bit of an aftermath. So I would say for the remainder of January, continue to focus on trauma healing, but not just healing, but finishing, completions. Do the things that you need to do to wipe them out, wipe the slate clean. If you want to work with me and we can figure out how it is that we can wipe your slate clean, what new paths or plans that you need to have for your future, do that as well. Whatever it is that you need to do to clear it out, close the door and begin new. Another thing as well is in terms of career and finances, there's a lot that's going to be happening for you when this Pluto transit happens. Keep in mind this Pluto transit is in an air sign, so things move very quickly. I've mentioned this in the 8-year video. I've mentioned this, I think I also mentioned this in the karma video as well. I will link both. The biggest thing you want to be aware of is the fact that this year is fast movement, and it's fast karmic movement. So preparing for the Pluto transition is understanding that this Pluto placement is in your house of luck when it comes to your finances and your money. So big changes career-wise working in your favor, serendipity in your finances. So preparing for this, I would say for the remainder of January, is really continue to work on these new structures that you have been building for the kind of career you want to have for yourself. Continue to work on your plans, expand your thinking in terms of where the possibilities are, structure what it is that you want to create, because those plans will be able to come into fruition. Anything that you invest in will grow. Anything that you have been investing in authentically will see through on the other side of progression. You've already started to see that as mid-January has been happening, and by the end of January you're really going to see those returns on your investments, and all throughout the year you're going to see that. And this is, again, the first year of you understanding the power of the potential that you have when it comes to your wealth and finances. Many people like to joke about the fact that this is like, you know, the Capricorn millionaire placement. You know, I keep saying like millionaire karma in the chart, you know, it's because of the Pluto transit. So continue to utilize the energies to not limit yourself. There are ideas that you are getting that are just that are coming in, and you're finding these solutions, and it feels almost monumental. I said this before, actually. It feels very fluid and natural, especially because you're no longer restricting yourself in terms of understanding what is practical, what you feel like can be done. Mainly because you have gone through the kind of things that have forced you into the kind of survival state where you've had to understand that you cannot limit yourself based on what it is that you see. Because all that you see around you can easily be taken away. So when you watch things leave you that you didn't think were possible, you had no choice but to see things differently, or to allow yourself to be transitioned, or see the possibilities beyond the things that were tangible, or beyond the things that could be seen. All of that was good because it was preparing you for being able to create the kind of plans that came from your dreams. Using that SeaGoat energy in order to alchemize and transition perspective into literal and tangible results. So continue to focus on those literal and tangible results, and those are the things that you need to do in order to understand and utilize the transition for the new age. And lastly, in terms of preparing for Pluto when it comes to yourself, when it comes to you, the person, you've already done it all. The last Pluto transit has done it all when it comes to you. The biggest thing is it's no longer about having to learn, having to transition or grow through opposition. You actually have to really learn at this point in terms of preparing for Pluto how to be more optimistic. So it's stepping out of the Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups energy, where it's understanding that you can no longer look at the spilled cups. Anything that you lost was meant to be lost. All of these things were made to transition you in order to create you as what it is that you are right now. So your task for preparing for this Pluto transit is to just allow yourself to be more lighthearted. Allow yourself to be more open and receptive to serendipity, to blessings, to things being a lot easier, to things being a lot more in flow. Be open to your emotions. Understand the depth of the SeaGoat, no longer putting yourself in a space where you're lugging yourself up the mountain. You have to be more fluid, more lighthearted. And that is, it's just that simple. Everything else is everything else simply because you've already gotten here. You've already understood it. You've already uncovered everything. You just need to allow it now. You just need to let new things in. Think differently, see differently, open your eyes to the new reality that you're in, and the fact that all of these things needed to happen in order to get you there. So the only thing standing in your way really is yourself, and the way in which you're standing in the way for yourself is your own nightmare, basically. So you just need to step yourself out of it. Okay? So I wanted to pull a little bit of an oracle for this reading. It's not really a reading, so I wanted to pull an oracle for this moment. Oh wow, I was not expecting that. But it makes perfect sense. Wow, okay. So it's going back to my point about releasing yourself. Okay, so you are being healed from guilt and fear. Such emotions will no longer steal your personal power or dissuade you from confidence. Happiness and realizing your own worth. We just talked about this. Exactly. No matter how unlikely it may seem, you are going to emerge from a spiritual winter into light and life. And you've been in a spiritual winter for a long time. You've been in a spiritual winter for 15 years. You're having to go through a major psychological transition in terms of understanding that you can be lifted from this energy. And yeah, a lot of you are dealing with fear. Because of the things that have taken place in the past, because of the weight that you've been in. You've been in a 15-year winter. The divinely ordained time for your liberation, healing, and emergence is much closer than you realize. Abundant blessings are stirring and shall soon manifest. So yeah. When it comes to you preparing for Pluto, it's you preparing for the positive. It's you understanding that it's spring now. It's been rough, it's been tough, it's been a process, it's been a lot. But the leaves want to bloom. The storm is over. It's no longer snowing, hailing, raining. And the only thing that will stop you from being able to enter this new phase of your life properly again is holding on to the darkness, because the darkness is all you've known for a very long time. So that is the main thing in terms of, and I would say that's not just with the self, that's all of it. You know, when it comes to you personally, yes, right, that is the main message. But when it comes to love as well, because many of you have been dealing with love karma because of these things. So it's understanding that a new love can be created for you and will be created for you, especially many of you this year, that will be the love of a lifetime, the love that really and truly aligns with what it is that you really deserve. And it's understanding that the karma of the past was just meant to create you and make you and mold you. And now you can step into a new reality where the divine partner that you desire is possible. The divine friendships, the divine work environment is in fact possible. The winter is over. You just have to open yourself to it. It's been rough. But slowly allow yourself to unravel fear and unravel post-traumatic stress and unravel I would say the shadow. My voice is getting a little, but the shadow of the old wounds. Allow the light to slowly illuminate. Okay? So that is your prepare for Pluto video. I wanted it to be a little bit on the sweet side, more than too much information. Okay, so I love you. Ciao.